Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Once again, just look how amazing these card animations are, man. So good. Let me know down in the comments, who do you prefer? Do you prefer Coolers or do you prefer Gokus? Well, we've already done the showcase on Goku. Now we've got the LR final from Cooler, the Freezer's brother. And we're going to be testing him out, of course, in the Vegeta event. We're going to be running him on his own 200% lead of Terrifying Conqueror's transformation boost. And of course, he also leads Movie Boss's transformation boost as well. Of course, we're going to have him on rotation with the transforming Dokkan Fest Cooler because they pretty much link perfectly together. I'll get LR full power Freezer there just for the LR, legendary power link as well. And also he's getting an easy A, so why not bring him? And of course, Turles for his amazing support. But do let me know down in the comments how you are finding the LR final from Cooler if you do have him. If you don't, hopefully you pull him sometime soon. You still have time. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. And without further ado, let's hop into it. Okay, so here we are. We've got one rotation, which is great. We can start building him up. He currently doesn't, he does have a few links active. He has Universe Most Malevolent, Strongest Clan in Space, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. I'm pretty sure most of those links are attack links. Of course, we are missing big bad bosses. We do need to lose some HP, but this is another one of them units where you definitely want to level 10 link him. Yeah, attack plus 15%, key plus 2. Oh yeah, majority of his attack links are active, and I have heard good things of this Cooler. Just does so much damage. So starting off, not even fully linked up properly, we do have that legendary power link active right now, which is why I did bring LR full power Freezer. We have a 252k attack stat turn 1, 109k defense. It's okay, but just like the Easy A final form Cooler, you do need to build up his passive first before he really gets going. So turn 1 obviously isn't going to be his best. But we're going to have to build him up quickly because he does have 2 built-in additionals, and he builds up his attack and defense on attacks. So he'll be attacking at least 3 times every single turn on average. And because we do have a Terrifying Conqueror's ally, because our entrance animation came off, and how nice that animation is, because there is a Terrifying Conqueror's category ally on the team at the start of Cooler's turn, he will launch an additional attack. He has a medium chance of becoming a super attack for 3 turns. So we have an extra additional for 3 turns. So for 3 turns, Cooler can do 4 attacks guaranteed until those 3 turns are up, and we lose the extra one for the entrance animation. But yeah, let's get building. Let's get building. I said turn 1, he's not going to really be doing anything all too special, but this is just where we're going to be building him up. 2.7, I said nothing special. The early phases, you're just going to want to be building them up. And of course, that's going to be easy considering he has 2 built-in additionals and the entrance animation one, and which also has a medium chance of becoming a super attack. All of his additionals have a medium chance of becoming a super attack. And you just want to build him up as quick as possible because he does need to attack 10 times. And we've already attacked 3 times and we super attacked 3 times. So this is what I mean with Cooler. He can do a lot of damage, especially accumulatively. So we've attacked 4 times. Already, we need to attack 10 times in total. We already have attacked 4 times, so almost halfway. So we've already gone through his leader skill. Flat 170 on Terrifying Conquerors or Movie Bosses is a very good 170 flat. Considering how many good Terrifying Conquerors units there are, this Cooler, LR Golden Freezer, which will be out in a few months, one of the better yellow coin LRs, LR Full Power Freezer, Ginyu, the Dokkan Fest, sorry, not the Dokkan Fest, Ginyu Force, and also the Dokkan Fest Ginyu was what I was meant to say. This Cooler, who still is a very good unit. The only thing is his defense isn't good enough for the harder content like Red Zone. So fingers crossed he does get an easy A in part 2 because he generally would be ridiculous. As long as he just has good defense to actually run in the hard content now, the rotation of him and the new LR final form Cooler would generally just be devastating, especially against a Pure Saiyan where that Dokkan Fest transforming Cooler can really come off. Movie Bosses has a lot of fantastic units as well. Turles. A lot of the Terrifying Conquerors on Movie Bosses as well, like Golden Freezers and Coolers. Broly's, Janembas, etc. His 200% lead of Terrifying Conquerors transformation boost is pretty much Coolers and also primarily Freezers. So Terrifying Conquerors just stays winning. Movie Boss transformation boost has a lot of great units there as well. But on his 12 key, he does greatly raise his defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to your enemy, and lowers attack. On his 18 key, he does stack attack. So Goku stacks defense, Cooler stacks attack, and he causes mega colossal damage to the enemy. So again, we're not ideally linked up yet, but we have attacked 4 times, and he will be getting key plus 1, which goes up to 5, which we've almost got. and attack and defense up to 100%, but we get 10% each time. So we've already got an additional attack and defense plus 40%. And with Turles' support of attack and defense plus 40% as well, on a 551k attack stat, 183k defense. Again, we're not even ideally linked up, but they're the extra keys kicking in, because as you can see, we already had an 18 key ready. You know, the fact that both of these units get up to 5 key on top of the 5 key they get at the start of turn, having 10 key at the start of turn once they're fully like built up and ready to go on an LR is just very handy, especially constantly getting that 18 key off to stack with Cooler, help him do even more damage in general. But it just helps because he's an LR. It just helps to constantly easily get his 18 key off. But we're up to just over 1 million attacks that with Turles' support already. Again, we're on 4 attacks so far. Doesn't need to be supers, just attacks. So with support on 4 attacks, he's already on a 5.1 million attack stat. Not even, again, ideally linked up with the other Dokkan Fest transforming Cooler. So we're on 5 now. Big 4.7 mil crit. There's 6. There's 7. Didn't become additional on those, unfortunately. And there is the additional from having the entrance animation. We are already on 8 attacks. We only need 2 more attacks and Cooler is fully built up. So we've already got the key plus 5. We're getting key plus 10 at the start of turn, which again is a massive help because he's an LR, hitting his 18 key and doing the best possible damage. But then of course is a massive help on top of that because his 18 key is where he stacks attack, so we can maximize the amount of damage he does with all those additionals and on the initial 18 key. So at the start of turn, I said he's getting key plus 5 and attack and defense plus 100%. He gets the additional key plus 1 up to 5, which we've already got, and attack and defense plus 10% up to 100% with each attack performed. So once he's fully done the 10 attacks, he'll have key plus 10 and attack and defense plus 200% at the start of turn, which is pretty good. And again, his attack's only going to get stronger and stronger, depending on how long you spend in the event, because again, he does stack attack on his 18 key. Launches 2 additional attacks guaranteed, which is of course going to help him build up his passive even quicker, including having the additional attack that also has a medium chance of becoming a super attack for 3 turns on his entrance animation, for there being another Terrifying Conqueror category ally on your team at the start of Cooler's attacking turn, which is very easy to get off. Because one, he leads Terrifying Conquerors, and also the majority of units you're going to be running with on the categories he goes on. Again, movie bosses, golden freezers, other Cooler units, transformation boost, Wicked Bloodline specifically is literally freezer and Cooler units, target Goku, Terrifying Conquerors specifically, Space Traveling Warriors, Planetary Destruction. A lot of these teams, including literally Terrifying Conquerors itself, which he leads, and 200% with Terrifying Conquerors and transformation boost, it's going to be so easy to get that additional for 3 turns by having another Terrifying Conquerors category ally on the team. Like, literally, you're going to have to force yourself not to get it. Literally. So, you know, and of course, that also helps him stack up to the 10 attacks quicker to build up his passive. It's like he's basically self-maintaining himself, if you will. But we've also got the Dokkan Fest transforming Cooler on rotation, so now we're going to pretty much have him ideally linked up. The only link he's going to be missing, I don't think we've lost enough health yet, but I wanted to check. The only link we're going to be missing once we do lose enough health to have Big Bad Bosses active is Legendary Power. That Big Bad Bosses link is very crucial, which is why you probably want to level 10 link him. Not to mention, getting your health below what, 80%? I think Big Bad Bosses at 85% is very easy considering how hard Red Zone hits and where your health's constantly sitting at. So on 8 attacks, the reason why I know that is not only because I've been counting, but that's Cooler's active skill conditions as well. He can activate his active skill once you performed 8 or more attacks in battle. So we're on 8. If we needed a reminder, I'm not going to put him in slot 2 for the time being, just because this Cooler will pop off because we are facing a pure Saiyan enemy. So we're on 8 attacks, no support. We don't even have Big Bad Bosses active. We're already up to a 753k attack stat and almost 200k defense. Again, we have the key plus 10. And you're literally seeing it right now. No support, nothing, no extra key. Once Cooler has his key plus 10, and he's linked up ideally well, even then it's going to be very easy to get his 18 key. But when you have him linked up like well, even with just like strongest clan in space, you literally have guaranteed 18 key. So you're always constantly going to be stacking what you want. Because, you know, when it comes to harder content like Red Zone, you want to do as much damage, also survive. You want to do as much damage, get in and get out, and that is what Cooler is good at, especially once he's fully built up. We're on a 1.41 million attack stat, and he still needs to do 2 attacks to be fully built up to get that extra attack and defense plus 100%. 5.8 million attacks that, again, not even fully built up. That's our 9th attack. Are we going to get the additional super or just an additional? Just an additional, so we're fully built up now. 10 attacks has been done. extra one, no additional super, and I'm pretty sure this is the last turn. If not, it's already gone. No, this is the last turn we have the extra additional for 3 turns for having a Terrifying Conquerors category ally on the team. So Cooler's fully built up. We've lost that. Cooler is ready to go. Actually, no, that's probably already gone already. Because once Cooler has performed his 10th attack and he's fully built up his passive, you will basically, for free, launch an additional super attack starting from the turn in which the character performs his 10th attack. Which is obviously very nice, but you do only get that once and once only. So on average, once you lose the entrance animation additional for the Terrifying Conquerors ally, and then once you have done your 10th attack, Cooler at 55%, which of course my Cooler is, will be doing 3 attacks pretty much guaranteed every single turn. And of course, those 2 built-in additionals have a medium chance to super. So at 55% with no dupes, once those 2 extra additionals are gone, you will do 3 attacks. You do the 18 key, you'll constantly stack, which is great at doing extra damage, especially again in red zone where you want to get out. The 2 additionals, if they do come off with the medium chance of becoming a super attack, will greatly raise your defense twice. So if we take a quick look at where Cooler's defense is right now, fully built up, he's on a 994k attack stat, which is insane. Considering he's at 55%, having literally just shy of a million attack stat before we even touch an orb is actually just generally stupid. But 218k defense, okay, you hit the 18 key because, I mean, you're literally guaranteed it once he has the key plus 10, once he's built up. So 218k defense, if those 2 additional attacks become supers, you will greatly raise your defense twice, that's 100% in total, on top of the 218k defense you have. So Cooler will have like somewhere between 5 to 600k defense, on top of how much damage he can do accumulatively altogether with his additionals, and stacking every time on his 18 key to do even more damage every time he comes back, is generally kind of ridiculous. We still don't even have big bad bosses active. We have these stats without the extra attack and defense plus 25%. That's crazy. So let's see what he's doing without it, and then we'll come back when, of course, he has it. But no, we'll come back with the support, and then if we haven't got big bad bosses active, then we'll come back with it. 7 million attack stat. And of course, that's only going to go up and up and up when he's stacking on his 18 key, which is pretty much guaranteed because we have the key plus 10, and he automatically has it in the rotation we have him on, ready to go even before we get an orb. But here's another thing. Of course, if you got a duping Cooler, which good, I'm so happy for you, because if you get an addition, if you have a duping Cooler, of course on average you're going to be attacking 4 times in the turn, which of course helps him build up his passive even quicker, which he already stacks even quicker because of his entrance animation additional as well. So getting his 10 stacks is very, very easy. Of course, you can make it even quicker if you have a dupe in him, because you'll be attacking 4 times in a turn on average, 5 with the entrance animation additional. Not to mention, if you can get him fully built up quick enough, within those 3 turns, Cooler will do the initial super you're going to do, which is one super. If both those 2 built-in additionals become super attacks, so let's just say you're on like the final turn, right, of your entrance animation additional being able to pop off. You do your initial super, you stack your attack. Your first additional becomes a super attack, your second additional becomes a super attack. Your entrance animation super becomes a super attack. You then have a dupe. That is 5 attacks. And imagine all the extra 4 additionals become supers. Not only would you have stacked, done big damage and raised your attack, and stacked again, which means you're doing even more damage, those 4 additionals would all greatly raise your defense by 50% for a turn, which means fully built up, as we've just seen, 218k defense Cooler, super attacking 4 times, which is 200%, will easily take Cooler through like 700-800k defense without guard and damage reduction, which means his defense will be in a phenomenal spot while doing insane amounts of damage altogether. And then, if you hit your 10th attack during that as well, that is 6 attacks in total, 5 additional. So again, you would have stacked your initial 18 key, done a big chunk of damage. You then would additional 5 extra times, which accumulatively, all 6 supers would have done crazy amounts of damage in total. The 12 keys would have been stronger because you've stacked, but then you would have greatly raised your defense 5 times in total, which is 250% defense, on top of again being fully built up, which is 218k defense in total, which means you would have, again, close to like a melee defense. That's kind of mad. I think that can actually happen. Again, if you have a dupe and you stack him and you build up his passive quick enough to those 10 attacks, I'm pretty sure on the final turn of your entrance animations, additional coming off for 3 turns, I'm pretty sure if you can get him built up quick enough, that can happen. Because if all those additionals are happening, including the dupe one, you're attacking about 5 times in a turn. Because you have the initial one you're doing, the 2 built-in additionals, which is 3. Within those 3 turns, the entrance animation additional and your additional. So you could potentially attack 5 times in 1 turn, literally from the start if you have a dupe. Which means the turn he comes back, which is turn 2, or 2 turns deep, he can then hit another 5. And if you hit another 5, and ideally all of them become supers, as I said, you will greatly raise your defense on all the additionals. And then because you hit another 5 attacks because you have a dupe, that 10th attack will automatically happen, where you greatly raise your defense again. So yeah, it can actually realistically happen as long as you have a dupe in Cooler, which makes me really tempted to hop back in, but I want to save my stones for part 2. But fully built up with the support, he has a 1.61 million attack stat, 327k defense. If all the additionals come off, again, mine's 55%, we don't have the entrance animation anymore, we've lost the 10th, which means he's only going to be doing 3 attacks. With the support, and Titus is very good after his EZA, his defense from 327k is going to be greatly raised his defense twice, which is 100%. So he's going to be on like, what, 600-700k defense without guard or damage reduction? But think about how insane that is, where your defense can be if you're still within those 3 turns of your entrance animation additional, and also you get the 10th attack off. That attack stat was generally insane. I literally just caught it 7.13 mil crit, and we got the additionals. The additionals are doing 6.6 mil. I'm pretty sure that 18 key was 10 to 11 mil. Like, I was literally mid-reading. I'm pretty sure that 18 key was 10, 11 mil. Which is crazy. 10, 11 mil with support. That is insane. And because of how high you can get his defense fully built up and then have that ideal turn where you super so many times because you have a dupe, I said it really makes me want to hop back in and get a dupe of this Cooler. Because he's already going to be great in red zone with how much damage he does, but then he's going to be insane with that extra dupe to getting that passive built up quicker and being defensively more solid, because you can greatly raise your defense an extra time if you get the additional super. Okay, so we showed off Cooler every possible way. I do want to do one more rotation with LR Full Power Freezer to have a legendary power active. But first, we're going to use his active skill and enjoy those amazing animations. Once he uses active skill, he is going to greatly raise his attack temporarily and cause ultimate damage to the enemy. And of course, he has that disable enemy action once within the turn, which we know how useful that can be in the harder content like red zone. But let's pop it and enjoy the animations.
I'm not short-sighted like my brother. I will be sure to exterminate every last one of you. Say goodbye. Let's
So after doing the active, he's on a 1.53 million attack stat off the Great Raisin's attack on his active. He's on a 2.8 million attack stat after that. Oh my god, after getting some warps. This super is going to do so much damage. Also because he has an active skill, yes. But in general, this 18 key would do so much damage. Because again, he's been stacking his attack the entire time as well. And he's just greatly raised his attack off the 18 key as well. But the Dokkan attack just makes it even crazier. Look at that number at the bottom of the screen. Oh my days. Vegeta is about to get absolutely bulldozed by Cooler by having Typeless Fire. I mean, he'll be bulldozed anyway, but the Typeless Fire is just the salt in the wounds, really. Look how much damage he's done without a crit. That is ridiculous. I've decided to leave the legendary power kind of turn off, just because I don't think there's many units you're going to be linking him with legendary power with all of his links active. So we'll save that for the level 10 links video that eventually will end up coming. But Cooler is generally ridiculous. Obviously, not as good defensively as Goku, but the amount of damage this guy can do, not only once he's fully built up, and especially after using his active skill as well, the amount of damage he can do in total because of his built-in additionals, and if they become super attacks, it's just kind of insane. And then just, as I said, he's going to be stacking the entire time, which means his damage is only going to go up and up and up and up, which is great for getting in and out of red zone. His defense is in a solid spot. I reckon with a Whis active, he should be just fine, depending on who you're facing off against. But yeah, he is ridiculously good. Like, his damage output is probably one of the best in the game. But do let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and whoosh.